Hello, I am going live a minute early to make sure that everything's working. So if you're here, well, I guess it's not actually a minute early, it was a few seconds early. It's 8 o'clock. So if you're here too, you're catching me live, please let me know you're here, who you are and where you're joining from. Because if I know you personally, hopefully I know where you're joining from, but others may not. So I see I've got at least one person live, which might be me. I'm also checking on my computer to make sure I can see that we're live, and it looks like we are. Okay, so yes, so whoever you are, I'm going to be trying to watch comments. It doesn't always show them to me, and when it does, it shows them delayed, but I will be trying to watch for those because that is why I love doing these lives. I see now there's 2 people live. Wonderful. I love doing these lives so we can interact, and I'm just a little distracted because I'm seeing myself on delay behind the camera that you're seeing me on. But that's how I can watch comments, so I'm going to try to keep that going. All right, so we'll get started. Welcome to the annual catalog launch. So today, Stampin Up, the company that I source craft supplies from primarily, launched their 2023, still can't believe that, to 2024 annual catalog. Here it is. So you may have seen the cover, but now we get to look inside. So if you didn't notice today, mid-afternoon, I post the PDF. You can find that on stampinup.com. Hi, Gwen. Let us know where you're watching from. And so yes, you can also find that on stampinup.com. If you search catalog, you'll see a picture of this. It shows you where you can buy the catalog, although you probably don't need to do that. You can see everything online. And if you live close to me, I'm happy to give you a copy to have in hand. You can buy a copy, but you can also download the PDF there. And I posted that in this Facebook page, or on this Facebook page earlier today. So you can follow along if you like, if you have a hard copy, or if not, if you want to check out that PDF, but we're going to get into it. So the plan for tonight is to spend the next hour or so, if anything, probably a little less, going through the book, taking a little tour through the book. I'm going to point out some things that you may not have noticed yet, even if you have looked through it. And as I go through, please feel free to share with me your favorites. I'll be sharing some of mine. I'm going to show you some project samples using brand new product from a swap I did with some of my friends locally here in Northish, Jersey recently. And then at the end, I'll talk about prizes because there are some ways you can win prizes. So stay tuned. And yes, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're here. It's good to see you on here. It's been a while. All the way from Canada. So yes, please share that you're here, share where you're joining from, and I'll try to respond to comments throughout, if not afterwards. And engage with one another as well. That's one of the great things about live is we can talk and you can talk to one another. Hi, Lisa. Yes, my friend from Tally. Wonderful to see you. Glad you made it and found us. All right, so let's get into it. You can see I have lots of tabs here I want to go through with you. So let's see, starting almost at the very beginning, page 3 is the table of contents. So that's a great place to start to see where you can find all the product suites, which are collections of product that are already coordinated. Stampin' Up! Is known for their coordination, for instance, their color coordination, but also their product coordination between papers and stamp sets and tools. And so suites collect all those things so that if you like that theme of that suite or that look of that suite, you can just click and purchase it all, or enter the one number to purchase it all, or you can buy it a la carte. It also tells you where to find some other things towards the back of the book, like some different what are they called, like indexes, and I'll point those out when we get there. There's also some icons that it tells you what those mean. So for instance, when you're looking through the book for anything new, you want to look for this little N, which is usually in red next to things. Quick and easy projects, are the clock. There's some special things like distinctive stamps, reversible stamps. We'll talk more about those. And then you might notice we've often, if not always, at least in my time with Stampin' Up, had the option for English and French stamp sets. Not all of them are available in French, but a lot of them are. Now you're going to see ES for Spanish. So we do have a Spanish stamp set, at least that will be sold here in North America. And if the sales go well, there may be more to come. So that's exciting. I'll try to remember to point out which one that is. And then the other thing I wanted to point out that I don't know that I mention as often, if ever, is the statement of the heart, which I think is really important. So this is Stampin' Up's really why for doing what they do. It says to love what we do and share what we love as we help others enjoy creativity and worthwhile accomplishments. In this, we make a difference. And I love that. I share a lot of the values that Stampin' Up! Has, and I love being able to share what I love, which is connecting with people through creativity. So thank you for joining me to do that tonight. Let's keep going through the book. So again, we're going to look at a lot of those things that the table of contents contents points out. Ooh, I always get tongue twisted doing these. Need to slow down. There's just a lot to get in here. All right, so on page 6, if you're following along, this actually talks about some things that aren't in the book. And by the way, you'll notice I, for the first time ever, have a spiral bound book. Thank you to my good friend Anna, who did that for me as a gift, which was so, so sweet. So thank you, Anna. So page 6 talks about the online exclusives. So there are some items that you won't see in the catalog, but that you will find in the online store at stampinup.com. And those will be coming out every few months. There'll be some new online exclusive products. So always be checking there. There are some items that were originally launched as online exclusives a couple months ago with the first release, and they are pictured in the book. And next to them, you'll see this little WEB for web. If you're looking at the PDF, like I do on my iPhone and iBooks, or whatever your phone is, whatever your way of looking at that is, I know in iBooks I can do a search. And so I can search WEB, and it'll pull up all those online exclusives. But if you just go to stampinup.com, you'll find the online exclusive section. And there were a couple notes I wanted to share with you about that. So first of all, some of the carryover product from our just retired as of yesterday catalog, so the last year's annual catalog and our January to April mini catalog from this year, products from those that didn't retire but was being carried over that you don't see in this actual catalog could be in that online exclusive section on the website. So you can check there for things that you thought were carrying over or hoped were carrying over to find them. And then very specially from this past January to February's Celebration, which is our annual sale once a year, there was a very special mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in one of the brand new in colors that we're going to talk about when we get there at the back of the book, in boho blue. And that was only available if you signed up as a demonstrator or joined by getting a starter kit during Celebration. But that is back. So you can, while supplies last, get that boho blue mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine for the same price as the white one, $63 US. And so at least that's what it is here in the US. And for Canada, things may be slightly different with your currencies. So we can always check that together if you have questions. So anyway, that's what I wanted to mention about online exclusives, as well as branded merchandise. So there's some brand new branded merchandise, for instance, with the new in colors, and I think like a decal sticker you could put on your car or your laptop or your water bottle. And that's going to be available in the online exclusive section of stampinup.com as well. On the very next page, page 7, I always like to say this is not just a catalog to shop from. This is also an idea book, a place for inspiration, and sometimes even learning things like techniques. And so this page actually talks about some of the ways you can use Stampin' Up! Stamps to do things like two-step stamping, and how you can use reversible and distinctive stamps. I said I'd mention those later, so I will share that now. So distinctive stamps have kind of a photoreal finish. And sorry if these words are showing backwards. I couldn't find where to flip that in Facebook, because things have changed since the last time I did one of these. So if you're seeing it backwards, my apologies. But page 7, if you want to follow along, distinctive stamps just have that photoreal finish where you're going to get several shades on one stamp. So you might be able to see here, they've actually done a couple different colors with a yellow and a pink, but there's also some variation. So just quick and easy makes it much more artistic looking. And then reversible stamps, if you watched my most recent tutorial, I showed how to turn any stamp into a reversible stamp if you have the Stamparatus, which was a retired tool. But reversible stamps come being able to literally just flip the photopolymer stamp over, and in this case, for instance, stamp the line detail of this turtle and then fill it in with the color. And so some things you can learn on page 7, but then also throughout the book. If you watch, sorry, my camera keeps twisting. If you watch as we go through, I'm going to point some of those things out, but also just, looking for the fine print in and around the things you're shopping for in the catalog, you're going to find more of those tips and tricks and things. All right, so I'm spending a lot of time on the first few pages, but pages 8 and 9 talks about all of our colors. So I said we'd talk about the new in colors, and we will. Every 2 years, there are 5 new colors that come out that are on trend, and those last for 2 years. Hi, Anna, you made it to welcome. I was just talking about how you gifted me my beautiful spiral-bound catalog. But yes, 5 new colors every 2 years, and they only last for 2 years unless they're brought back in a color refresh, which happens every handful of years. It's not as scheduled, but we just had a color refresh with this new catalog. So some past in colors and past core collection colors returned. We'll talk about which those were. Some brand new colors were created and added to our core collection. So in addition to the 5 new in colors, we had 11 colors added to our core collection, which means some of those core collection colors retired. So that was the sad part, but then the happy part is we have these returning favorites and brand new colors to enjoy. So this page shows some of those. It even tells like little stories about them, or like kind of describes them. Like for instance, Boho Blue, I mentioned that one on the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine that you can buy now. It says, flowy, calm, without a care. This new blue is a breath of fresh air. So anyway, fun little descriptors of some of those. But we'll get more to that later. All right, so I always like to talk about kits because I find those are a great way to start out if you're new, or to do quick and easy crafting if you're busy or on the go, even as a veteran crafter. And so page 12 talks about the kits collection, and it shows some here. They're doing some really different things. Like they came out with this Wreaths of Bloom kit. It's home decor. This is a new kit that just came out last month called Forever Friends kit. And then this is a really pretty one, this Kaleidoscope kit. So these have all come out relatively recently. Again, this one just came out last month, so I don't think I've had a chance to talk about that one yet. And then another one came out today called Confetti Birthday, and that is a shaker card kit. So there's all sorts of kits, whether it's cards, treat packaging, home decor, office organization, like we have a memory board kit, I think is what it's called. We have a memory notebook kit, so I might be getting those names confused, but all sorts of different kits for different occasions and seasons and styles. And then there's also paper pumpkin kits. And so this is page 13, talks about paper pumpkin. Now you will notice with this new catalog, hi Terry, welcome, welcome, welcome. There have been some price increases, so that includes paper pumpkin. Prices have gone up from anywhere from like 50 cents to I think a couple dollars at the most, so not too much, but you will notice a difference in that. And so when I do my paper pumpkin parties on the months that I get the kits myself and offer the party, you'll notice a slight increase in the price because Stampin' Up! Had to increase their prices. But I am doing my next paper pumpkin party this month. I can't believe it's May 2nd today. The party will be May 20th, which is a Saturday from 1 to 3, and it's for the May kit, which is Exploring in Color. So again, focusing on those 5 new in colors. It's outdoorsy themed. They just released the color art today, because until today it was a black and white box because the colors weren't officially released yet. Now they are. And there's going to be an add-on with that kit too. So for $10 more, you can get 18 cards. Let's see, 6 each of 3 designs. And they are, again, outdoorsy, using the new in colors, which are all very neutral, natural colors. So if you're interested in any of that, let me know. There's still time to purchase it. We just have to place orders for codes and redeem them by the 10th of the month, and then they'll ship after that and get here in time for that party on the 20th. So just let me know. If you don't already have my contact information, you can reach out to me at handcraftedgifts@gmail.com. But these are a great, I think, way to craft. Again, if you're wanting something quick and easy on the go, or you're new to it, it is a subscription-based kit, but that doesn't mean you have to sign up month to month. You can. And then you save a little bit, I think, by doing so, like maybe $1 a month. Or you can buy prepaid codes at 1, 3, 6, or 12 months. And the more you buy, the more of a discount you do get, but you can just do that 1 month at a time. And whatever type of subscription you have, you can always suspend or cancel. And there's also a satisfaction guaranteed 100% refund if you aren't satisfied. But I've never gotten one I regretted. So anyway, that's my pitch for Paper Pumpkin because I love them. So I'm really just trying to, again, share what I love, like the statement of the heart. All right, so now let's get into the new product. So I'm going to start with the very first suite on page 14. This is the Bright and Beautiful Suite Collection. I won't spend too much time on each one because there's quite a few, and there's other things I want to get to too. But again, suites are going to have designer series paper, a stamp set, usually a tool, like in this case dies or sometimes punches. This one also has a specialty paper. And sometimes things aren't always highlighted, but there's little things, you know, hiding on these pages, so you want to watch for those. But this is a great kit for celebrations. And then on page 17, we don't have to go far to see our first project. So this project I'm going to show you uses the Circle Sayings bundle, which is the Circle Sayings stamp set and then this circle punch, which if you've been around Stampin' Up, you know we used to have circle punches. Everyone loved them and they disappeared for a while. Now they're back. Lisa Matthews, good to see you. Oh, both Lisas. Lisa's together in Tally. So good to see you both. I'm glad you're here. So let me show you this project. My friend Mary Wilcombe Bradford made this. And it also features those 5 new in colors. So again, the Circle Sayings bundle. It also has, that's for the circle, the cupcake, and the celebrate, celebrate. The happy birthday sentiment is from the returning Biggest Wish stamp set. And she also used the sentiment silhouette dies to make this candle here. And then we also have Moody Mauve textured ribbon. So that is one of the in colors right here. But you have all 5 in colors on this card, and I think there's an inside. Yep, she's got some stars on the inside too. So there may have been some other returning product in there, but it was primarily to highlight that new Circle Sayings bundle. So thank you, Mary, for sharing that with me so I could share that with all of you. Again, as we're going through, please share with me, what your favorites are, what questions you might have that I can answer for you. And I see you're talking to one another. I love that. Talk with me, talk with one another. It's a party. All right. Hopefully you all have some good snacks or drinks or things with you to party with. All right. So this next suite is my favorite of the catalog. Comes right up, number 2. On page 30 and 31, I took French back in the day, but it's been a long time. Les shops. That's terrible. I'm sorry to my French teachers. So this is all these little scenes of these different little shops, and creating scenes is my favorite thing, I think, in crafting, or my favorite type of thing, to create. And so you've got the Let's Go Shopping stamp set, the Let's Go Shopping dies, which create the Let's Go Shopping bundle. They've started calling them all the same. It used to be like the stamp set, the tool, whether it's dies or a punch, and then the bundle, when you put them together, all had different names. It got very confusing. Oh, and then the suite had a different name. So it's all Let's Go Shopping within the Les Shop suite. But the bundles, if you don't know, are going to put that stamp set and coordinating die or punch, again, whatever tool, together and give you 10% off both if you buy them at the same time. So you get a deal that way. And then check out this designer series paper. So a lot of the projects on this first page are made with just fussy cutting things out of that designer series paper. And I love this treat packaging. It looks like a little shop. And you've got all these different stamps to make it a bakery, a flower shop, a bookstore, all sorts of things, and some good versatile sentiments in there too, like good luck, wish you were here, hello, you're such a sweet treat. I would love that with the bakery, let's get together. I think be a great one for giving gift cards and things like that to local places. So this one also comes with an embellishment, some sequins. It's called the loose silver sequins. So I really particularly like that suite. I think I'm gonna have fun with that. All right, so next up is a kind of hidden product. Like I was saying, there's some things hiding sometimes on these pages. So you might look at this page and see this returning stamp set, 'cause it's big and beautiful. But if you look up here at the samples that use that stamp set, they're also pulling in some dies. And these are the paper florist dies. Look at the beautiful 3D bouquet that made. In fact, I'm gonna take a moment and go to the very back of the catalog. So here's the front again. Check it out. There's some other dies in there too, like some daisy dies that we'll get to with another suite, but a lot of that is the paper florist dies. It reminds me of that Wreaths of Bloom kit, and so I just loved seeing that. And you'll find those dies in the die index at the back of the book, but you won't necessarily see what they do, the projects they can make, unless you're really looking throughout the catalog. So again, pay attention to not just, maybe the main focus of the page, but those other little things that are being highlighted in the corners. All right. Anyone have any favorites yet? Keep me updated. All right, so another hidden corner kind of description in this case of a product, a new product. On page 37, up here, it's talking about the white center specialty paper. So when I first saw this at the back of the book, I just saw, these pieces of paper. They kind of just looked like cardstock, or just like a kind of slightly textured, like they almost look like that old Subtles embossing folder we used to have. It's hard to see on camera, but there's just like the slightest little bit of grain to the paper. But this explains how you can give your projects a distressed look with the white center specialty paper, because the white core peeks through when embossed images are lightly sanded and when creating a torn edge look. So you can see they've used an embossing folder and then they've just sanded a little bit, so that instead of the paper being the color all the way through, which Stampin' Up! Is known for, usually that's a good thing, you want the paper to be the same color all the way through, so that if you do rip it or emboss it and it starts to ever so slightly crack, or those fibers start to pull apart, you're still seeing the same color all the way through. But in this case, it's white in the center on purpose so that you can get more of that shabby chic distressed look. So there's another example there without kind of the other card elements built up on it. So I thought that was really neat to kind of explain what that was, because it was hard to know just from the title of it, and seeing it pictured in the book. All right, page 41. I thought this was a really neat new type of product. I think we've had something a little like this before, but I'm glad they're doing more of it. So page 41, we have my floppy book, the Wonderful Thoughts bundle. So again, that's the Wonderful Thoughts stamp set and the Wonderful Thoughts dies. It's all these great sentiments and then dies to cut them out. So when you see this little white outline around the sentiments, it's because it's showing you there's a die to go with that, which you can see down here. And the die set comes with some other things too, like some hearts and this flower spray. Hopefully you can see that. I know it's real small. Again, page 41 if you want to check it out later. But here's an example made by my friend Lynn Hunt Phones. So she did the sentiment, "You are wonderful, you are loved, you matter," which if you can see in the book here is all one line. So then she did cut it into 3 pieces, but she used the die to cut the long strip before doing that. And this is also a fancy or fun fold, which is really neat. It's hard to do backwards, but really beautiful card. Doesn't use too much cardstock to make a full-size card. And lots of beautiful DSP from the Countryside Inn suite, which is going to be the next suite we'll see in the catalog, I believe. She also added some embellishments, the boho blue textured ribbon, so another in color, which she kind of frayed on the ends there. And then the adhesive backed solid gems, which are right here and here, and maybe there. So beautiful card using this Wonderful Thoughts bundle, and again, the Country Inn DSP. If you like blue, this one's for you. Sorry, you're seeing all sorts of, junk piled up in the background as my camera keeps swinging, probably because I'm excited. Terry, you have that stamp set on your wish list. Which one? And you said you like the white center specialty paper. Yeah, I think that's neat too. Tell me which stamp set's on your want list. Is it the Wonderful Thoughts that we're talking about? Let me know. All right, next up on page 52, we have a cute one, the Little Monkey Bundle, which is a stamp set and a Little Monkey Builder Punch. And so this one, let me go to my, I think I may have got something out of order here. Hopefully not. Let's see, hang on, let me see if I missed something. I might have missed something. Yes, I did. Okay, hang on. We'll go back to it. But let me keep going with the monkey for now. So this card was made by my friend Barbara Dykehouse. And how cute is this? First of all, she made a little boy and a little girl monkey. Wonderful Thoughts, Terry. Yes, yeah, I'm glad you like that one. This monkey is just hanging on. They're just holding hands, or I guess holding tails. So it can kind of move around. It says little monkey, and on the inside, just swinging by to say hi. And she's got a monkey on a little bit of thread there to swing. And she punched out 2 monkeys so that she could have the back be finished as well. So I thought that was super cute. And then on the back, she made some space for writing your message with some stamped images from that little monkey stamp set. So super cute. Oh, my little monkey fell off. It reminds me of a barrel of monkeys, that old game. Maybe not that old. I think that's still around. All right, so let me go back to the one that I missed. So if we go back just a couple pages to a suite that I skipped, on page 46, you have the Zoo Cruise suite. So this is a really fun one with lots of different animals. Really good for, I think, kids or the young at heart. And even if you don't want to do things with the animals, you'll notice one side of the DSP is the animals, mostly in black and white, which is these kind of subtle, from our subtles collection, but also just subtle use of color. And then the other side of the paper is just black and white patterns. So it's actually quite versatile. You have some like chevron stripes, some little flowers, some scallops, some like different size dots, some stars, and then another dots. So yeah, so I think there's more to this one than originally meets the eye, even if you don't have occasion for maybe some of the animals. By the way, I think this is so funny that the llama is knitting. I feel like it's just like pulling wool off itself to like create a scarf or something. Anyway, let me show you the card that my friend Brenda Miller made. So this uses the Zany Zoo bundle. So you've got the little, is that a leopard ballerina there saying, "You're too wonderful." So yeah, so that is from Brenda Miller. Thank you. And I'm glad I realized I missed that. All right, so moving right along. We're getting to halfway through our time, and we're not halfway through books, so I gotta keep moving. What's next? Okay, so next is the Country Inn suite. So again, where that DSP came from on the blue card I showed you. And this suite is unique, I think, because the stamp set is just these borders for the dies. The Countryside Corners bundle is the stamp set and dies. And so it creates these different patterned borders around these different shaped nesting dies, which I think is really neat. And again, you can see some of the projects that they used for making that and just pulled in sentiments from other sets. So again, if you like blue, this one's for you. All right. This is the Spanish set. So first of all, it's a suite called Earthen Elegance on page 70. And all these suites, if I'm not saying both pages, they span 2 pages, obviously. But starts on page 70. This one reminds me of like the art of the Southwest with these like glazed pottery kind of finishes on the DSP and things like that. And the stamp set is some pottery and some foliage and some sentiments. So this is the set that is available in English, Spanish, and French. So if you speak Spanish or you know somebody who speaks Spanish, support this set so we can get more Spanish sets. Lisa likes the Hey Chuck. Yes. So I wasn't going to point that one out. I don't remember what page that's on. Lisa, feel free to tell us. But you can also search, again, if you have the PDF, you can do a search for Hey Chuck. I thought that was funny too because it's the rooster version of Hey Birthday Chick. So I think it's funny that they called it Hey Chuck. But that was such a popular set that they did like a second one, right? And then now they've done a third one with the rooster. All right, so keep shouting those things out, the things that I'm skipping. So I'm skipping a lot. So speaking of males, I was gonna say men, but we were talking about roosters. So anyway, it's sometimes challenging to make traditionally masculine cards, right? We talk about that all the time. And so starting on page 78, you have some more traditionally masculine products, starting with this Let's Go Fishing suite. Now, obviously not every man fishes and not everyone who fishes is a man. So it may not fit for the men in your life or it may fit for women in your life. But I think it's pretty neat. Like I like this tackle box. And again, it just really starts a section that is going to be more traditionally masculine if you're looking for that for Father's Day or men's birthdays or anything like that. There's some fun ones on the following pages. All right. Including this one, I think this could be, like I think of my husband with this one. Page 86 is the Stargazing Suite. And the thing I like most about this are the starscapes. So I love like seeing galaxies and things like that. That seems like it's been really popular the last few years in different products. And so now we have it in crafts. And my husband loves space, loves to follow like the launches and things like that. We went to NASA to celebrate his graduation a couple years ago and had a really good time touring there. And so I don't know if I'll get this and make him space themed crafts because he doesn't tend to like to have tangible things. So having the experience of having visited there was good. But if he did enjoy collecting cards and things like that, you know I'd be getting this for him. All right. As you're seeing these things, you know, even if they're not you, but you're thinking of someone who might like them, share that with us. Feel free to share this with them. That's going to come up at the end when we talk about prizes. Inviting friends is one of the main ways to win, so we'll get to that. All right, so back to one of my favorites, one of the things that's me. I like crafting with craft-themed things. I think it's so meta and just like ironic and fun. And so page 91 has the Crafting With You bundle. And this was created by a $1 Million Sales Achiever. So when you see this little icon, it means that someone sold and or bought $1 million worth of product in their time as a demonstrator, and they get to be part of designing a product as a result. And so I think this is a really neat stamp set with some interesting sentiments, or not interesting, I guess, like, what's the right word? I want to be more specific, like, well, just really relevant stamps for when we're crafting, like sending you a handmade hug to stamp that on anything you make. I like life is better when you're crafting because that's how I feel. Oh, speaking of what people are snacking on, I mentioned that earlier. Lisa's are eating nothing but cakes. I'm jealous. That sounds delicious. Good for you all having a good time. But yeah, you can craft with craft themed things and not just Stampin' Up things, although check out, does that Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine not look familiar? But you know, also like sewing and knitting or crocheting and painting. And then with the dies, you get even more things like this. It's so hard to see, but that's our cutting machine, our paper trimmer rather. You have the hoop that goes around like knitting, you know, so you could do something with that. And like these flowers can go like in the hoop, like you're knitting them, or on the canvas, like you're painting them. So anyway, I thought that was really fun. So that's on my wish list. All right, page 94 is the Inked Botanicals suite. And this actually reminds me of a suite we had for a fall themed suite in one of our past holiday catalogs. I think it was Nature's Harvest, because I used a lot of these same colors, but it's interesting seeing them with different images and a slightly different color palette, how it could go from very autumnal to very spring or summer. So I think this one's really pretty because I really like this color combination, which you can see it always highlights some of the colors that are featured in the DSP, but if you go to the back of the book where it shows all of the DSP, which we'll get to, it'll list all the colors that will be in there, because this is just like the main ones. So that's yet another suite in the catalog, kind of a shabby, chic, country style. And this one comes with 2 punches, by the way, which are just some really versatile shapes. Like this one could be good as a tag or label. And then you put them together and maybe build up little flowers and things. I really like on some of the samples how they created like these quilts effects. So yeah, just something kind of different. Oh, Lisa, I don't know who you're saying you love crafting with, but I love crafting with you. I know you love crafting with probably a few people on this call. So yeah, I'm glad y'all are here and chatting with one another as well as with me. I see we've got 7 people here, so I want to know who else is out there. I know it's Lisa's, Terry, Anna. I don't know if Anne's still here, Gwen. Who else is out there? All right, page 100. Sometimes I just point out things I like. I mean, I try to look for things that I think will be helpful for you all to know that you might miss. Oh, Paula, good to see you, Paula. It's been a long time. Good to see you. But sometimes I also just like to point out things that like stood out to me. Maybe it's just I liked them. So that's the case with this one, the Scenic Wonders. Although I do think it's kind of different. So it's these rather large stamps and they would be scenes. So this one looks like a meadow to me. This one kind of looks like a desert scape. This one looks like maybe leading into a forest, and some good sentiments like have a beautiful birthday, so glad you're in this world with me. I feel like that goes really well with a scene like that. Live your biggest dream, again, so good with a scene for maybe someone like starting a new stage of life. So anyway, I really liked that set. That's the only reason I marked it. Okay, and now for my favorite thing in the entire catalog. So if you know me, which I think you all who are here do, you probably already know that my favorite type of product is DSP. That's right. I probably know what yours is by this point too, but if you haven't shared or it's changed for you recently, share that in the comments. And my favorite DSP of the entire catalog is from this masterfully made suite. So look at these samples. They look like they've been built up with all these scraps of paper that are ripped and torn, right? And there are some layers like, you know, this circle and these strips and die cut piece and the sentiment. But that is just what the paper looks like. So look at this like mountain scene that looks like it's a collage. That is one sheet of DSP, and you have all these sheets of different flowers and scenes and patterns that have basically been like collaged from ripped paper. So I imagine the artist who created this digitally or tangibly ripped up paper, like beautiful designed paper, and then created designed paper with it. I just think that's so cool. So I'm really excited about that. Again, that's on page 102, and that's just part of the suite. You also have, of course, your bundle and some embellishments with this one as well. Sorry if I'm not pointing out every part of the suite, but just wanted to go through so you know what all of them are, and you can go back and look at the ones that are really interesting to you. All right, another different type of set, Terry Stone chocolate. All I see is chocolate. I'm guessing you're eating chocolate. I hope you're eating chocolate. Enjoy some for me. So page 104, the vertical bloom stamp set. So I guess Stampin' Up was getting feedback that people wanted to do more portrait oriented cards rather than just landscape. And so they created a set for that so that you can have your sentiments go up and down instead of side to side. So things like thank you and bloom with grace. And then you have, you know, this bloom that you can build up with the different flowers. You have a few different little flowers missing you these days. So I just thought that was a really neat, different type of set. And again, I think that came out of feedback from us to Stampin' Up. So they're listening, they care. Let's see, what else? We're getting through the stamp set section. We're gonna get to some other big things like colors and such. All right. I think this might be the last of kind of like the different sets that I wanted to highlight, but page 106 has this Marvelous Nature set. And again, they've done maybe 1 or 2 of these in the past, but I'm glad they're continuing to do more like this, where you're stamping and the image is really the negative of the stamp, because the positive part is really just like this background that then the image stands out of. So like if you were to stamp this in blue, the square would be blue and some of the shading would be blue, but the birds would just be whatever color you were stamping on. Like if you were stamping onto a white piece of paper or a lighter blue piece of paper or something. And then same with this fern. And so that's a really different kind of thing. Oh, I definitely love chocolate. Yes. I was saying I hope you're having some from me because I'm doing this right now. I can't be eating chocolate, but but yes, I have several chocolate themed stamp sets. I tend to go for those because not only do I love it, but my mom is a self-proclaimed chocoholic, so I get them and make cards with them for her. But maybe you're also snacking on that. I don't know. Wishful thinking, maybe. That's why I'm just saying that because I wish I was. All right, the next page is page 108 and 109. Shows those reversible stamp sets. It's hard to show you two pages at once that I mentioned earlier. So we saw the turtles earlier when I was showing you the example of reversible stamping at the front of the catalog. But then we also have this new one, Enchanted Butterfly. So again, those allow you to stamp. Let me show you the new one. So like one side of the stamp would be the line art, and the other side of the stamp would be the part that's going to color it in. And so you have that with, you know, flowers, with butterflies, with leaves, with patterns. And so a really kind of different way to stamp. I think a quicker and easier way to stamp for fellow demonstrators. That could be really good for a class, so people aren't having to do so much coloring if you don't want to spend the time or have the tools for that. All right, I'm worried. Okay, good. I haven't been skipping my projects, but I have a couple more to show you. So this is the Daisy Suite that I think I mentioned earlier on page 110, Fresh as a Daisy. And this includes all of the new in colors. So you have all of them in this suite, plus some other colors as well. So I'm going to show you some cards using some of these products. First of all, from my friend Deborah Storbeck, this uses the entire suite. So we've got the Fresh as a Daisy Designer Series paper here. We've got the Cheerful Daisies bundle to stamp and punch out the flower and the little bits of like foliage or branches here, as well as the sentiment, wishing you the brightest birthday. And then she also used the embellishments, which are the adhesive back solid gems, which we saw earlier on the blue card. But these are in one of the other colors, one of the other in colors. And I think, okay, she didn't do anything on the inside. I hope I haven't been skipping insides for you. I think I've shown you the ones that have an inside. Yes, okay, good. And then another friend of mine, Sharon Abrams, used the Cheerful Daisies bundle. She also used the Timber 3D embossing folder, which is a returning product, but she used just the bundle from this suite to make a kind of different card, which was really fun. So this is, you know, a side fold rather than folding down from the top. And it has a place for a gift card. I love that she has the little placeholder for it. And then I didn't even notice this when she first gave it to me, but these are like flower tags, like that you would put in a flower pot to know what they are. And this is the Your Friendship Means Everything sentiment, but you have these 3 little cards that you could put, you know, maybe different encouragements on, or, you know, just little messages. You could even put like pictures on there. I thought that was so fun. So it's kind of like flower tags, almost like in a flower pot. So really unique, again, using this suite. Anna, come back anytime. If any of you need to go, you can always watch this on replay. If you are watching this on replay, please still comment. I will still reply, and let us know that you joined. Lisa needs more butterflies. Yeah, there's been a lot of butterflies. There's been a lot of flowers. But the thing is, they get me because they come out with a new one, and I'm like, I like it even better than the last one, or like it's slightly different. It has this thing I don't have from the last one I got. So sometimes that still gets me. But yeah, if you have enough butterflies, maybe look at something else. So this is another technique that I thought was really neat on page 115. Using this new stamp set you see here, Softly Sketched, and kind of like the name suggests, they did this card to make it look like it's been sketched with charcoal. And the way they did that, they describe right here. So it says, to get this charcoal blended look, start by stamping the image in a dark ink. So I think they probably used maybe our new in color Pebbled Path, which I know we haven't talked about all the colors by name yet. We will. And then you softly blend the same ink color around the image using a blending brush, which we now have in 2 sizes, a standard, the original, and then a small. And so like the small might be even better with this so that you don't get too much of that shading around, but it kind of looks like it's been, I guess, kind of distressed. Like if you've ever used charcoal, it's really easy to accidentally smudge. And so this kind of gives you that look. So it looks like it's been hand drawn on there, which I thought was really neat. I like any like of the artistic kind of techniques. So yeah, Page 117 is an important one because this is the angel policy, which tells you how you can legally use Stampin' Up! Images if you're going to sell your projects. And so if you make cards that you want to be able to sell, or sometimes if you give them to certain charities that are going to sell them to benefit their work, to use the profits for their nonprofit work, you have to have a copyright Stampin' Up! Stamp. And so they always have at least one stamp set that allows you to do that, and they call it the angel policy. And so this new one is called Stamped with Love. And again, it's sort of themed for what you're doing with it. So it has this like old fancy post box with someone sending mail and letters, and it's hand stamped especially for, and then you could put the person's name in there. Here's the copyright Stampin' Up! Stamp, so that's the key one for the angel policy, but also so you get a card. I like you, so I guess those would be I like you, so you get a card. Or love you always. So there you have it. So check that out. If you have any questions about the angel policy, just let me know. The only time you have to stamp the copyright Stampin' Up! Stamp is if you're going to be selling something that has the Stampin' Up! Images on it. All right, page 118 and 119. I'll show you both at once and then talk to you one at a time so you can hear me. I don't know if you can hear me through the catalog. Do I have any instructions on the daisy card with the tags? I don't, but I could probably get them for you, Terry, if you want them. And I'll go back real quick to just talk through it. I think it's probably a standard card, just cut down slightly, and then, you know, with the fold in the middle. Actually, it's probably not cut down slightly. It's probably just folded up to create these little pockets. And so that's where that extra height is going. And then you just create the pieces to go inside, whatever size you'd like. But I can get more for you from my friend if you're interested. Just let me know. So these are the background stamps. So these are going to fill the entire standard card. And that can be really quick and easy. It can also just allow you to do some different things that you might not otherwise be able to do. Like it's in the stars, create all these constellations. That would be probably hard to do by hand or by individual stamps. So you can just all at once have the night sky on there. So there's some new and some returning. My favorite returning is the Watercolor World from the last mini catalog, but some new and returning background stamps. This is one of my favorite samples in the entire catalog using that stamp, by the way. And whenever you see something like this and you're like, oh, I want to make that card, you know, like Terry was just asking about the one I showed, but when you see ones in the catalog that you want to make, you can reach out to your demonstrator like me if you don't already have one, and we get what they call recipes, where they'll tell us all the products that were used and sometimes very briefly describe any techniques that were used. So it's not like a full tutorial, but it'll tell you, like, for instance, I was looking at this and I was like, where are those little hearts coming from? We don't have any heart embellishments right now. And so I want to go look and see. I'm guessing that's like a die from some bundle that I need to go find. Or maybe it is an embellishment that I've missed in the embellishment section of the catalog, but, you know, I want to figure out how to have those little hearts from our current product offering to, you know, put on the different places in the world, because I like that. I had wanted to do something like that. And then when I saw that one, I was like, yes, where are those hearts from? So I can go find that out, and I can find that out for you if you're interested too. All right, so we've made it through all of the stamp sets. Now we're into color. So on page 222 and 223, we have the color collections. So forgive me for those of you who've been around a long time, but real quickly, if you're watching this and you're new, there are 4 core collections. So you have brights, neutrals, regals, and subtles. Tell me your favorite. I'd love to know. I used to like brights the most. That's the one I started with because I thought it was the most balanced, but now they're all quite balanced because they all have, except for the neutrals, which are kind of an exception, but the other 3, brights, regals, subtles, all have the full rainbow spectrum. So purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, all represented in here. I tend to like neutrals a lot, which do have some colors, but, you know, it's more about the browns and grays and neutrals. You also have the in colors here. So let's take a look. So these are brand new in colors. You have Copper Clay, Wild Wheat, Poho Blue, Moody Mauve, and Pebbled Path. And I think they go really well together because they're all kind of neutral, natural, like fall colors to me. And you also have kind of a blue, well, definitely a blue, kind of a yellow, and a pink. So that's, you know, the 3 primary colors. Plus this is also almost kind of an orange, and then almost kind of like a green gray. So I feel like you almost have the full color spectrum. It's a little bit of a stretch, but at least you have kind of the 3 almost primary colors represented. And I'm going to show you some samples that I made. So this was for the swap that I mentioned that I got all these other projects from. This is what I made, not to share with them, but just to show them, because I didn't know anyone was going to send, I didn't think anyone was going to send a card that says hello color. But to welcome the new in colors and to show them all, I made this card. And this uses the Give It a Whirl dies, so you can actually turn and see at least 3 of those new colors, the Boho Blue, the Moody Mauve. It's hard to do without looking at it. There we go. And then the Wild Wheat we started with. But then you also have the Pebbled Path here and the Copper Clay. So see, doesn't that almost look like a rainbow? And this uses the Give It a Whirl dies to create these little embellishments, because from pre-order, all I had was the new color cardstock and the new color markers, and that was it. So these were some returning stamp sets, the Alphabest bundle with the best label punch and the Alphabest stamp set to create these letters. And this was, I think, from Artistically Inked, is the Hello. But here's the one I made to actually give to them, because again, I didn't think anyone was going to use a card that says Hello Color. But they might use a card that says Hello You. Especially, like, I thought this could be a baby card, especially if you didn't know the gender, because it, again, has a pink, a blue, and a sort of yellow. So there you go. Hopefully a kind of fun way to see some of those new in colors. And then, like I said, we have 11 returning and brand new colors. So it's hard to see here, but you can look online to see more, or in my one of, if not my last unboxing video, I got the cardstock, like I mentioned. And so you can at least see on video, like the full sheets of cardstock to see the different colors, but nothing beats seeing it in person. So, you know, you can see it online, you can see it in your handheld catalog, you can see it in an unboxing video, but then you see it in person, and that's kind of like the levels of, I feel like, seeing it like better, best. But here in the Brights collection, we got the returning Lemon Lime Twist. That was a former in color. We have the returning, or sorry, the brand new Azure Afternoon. I feel like that kind of replaced Pacific Point. And then the returning, again, a former in color Berry Burst kind of replaced Rich Razzleberry. And they are different. Like when you see them side by side, there was a video that Sarah did from Stampin' Up, our CEO, and they showed, because she was with another Stampin' Up employee, they showed side by side some of the colors that you might think would be similar. And they might be similar, but they are not the same. And when you put them side by side, you realize just how different they are. Like maybe one is more bright, one is more dull, or vice versa. So let's check out these other new ones. Speaking of, well, not really speaking of neutrals, but I guess dull made me think neutral. I don't mean that in a bad way. So we have a returning, more recent in color, Misty Moonlight, which I was very glad to see back, because it's like a duller denim, but again, in a good way. I really like that color. And Pecan Pie, which we retired soft suede, so this is maybe a slightly lighter, brighter version of that color. Not all are like, it's not like they are advertised as replacements, but I don't know, I'm just, I guess, reminded of some retiring ones by some of these new ones, and I feel like it might be helpful to know what retired and kind of what you can use instead now. A returning, again, more recent in color, Pretty Peacock, which I really liked, and an even older in color that returned, Blueberry Bushel. And then some more brand new ones. So we have Lemon Lolly instead of so saffron now. I think this one's a little brighter, but still very light. So it's good to have a true light yellow. Lost Lagoon is a former, I think, core color, even before my time. I wasn't familiar with that one, but apparently it was very popular. People who've been around longer than I were excited to see that back. I'd love to know what your favorite color is. Your favorite new color. Oh, thank you for your compliment, Terry, about my card. I appreciate that. Fresh Freesia, that was just an in color that would have just retired yesterday, but instead it got carried over into our new collection. And again, I'm grateful because it's a true subtle purple. So I think it really balances the subtle collections to have that. And now another brand new one, Bubble Bath, which is kind of a pink purple. So you can see the difference between those two, although those would be good, what we call buddy colors. I think also Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock would be good buddy colors. It's when they're kind of the same tone, but a darker and lighter version. So I think that's all of them, all 11 plus the 5 new in colors. So we have a few minutes left. I want to talk about what prizes are. So I'm going to try to speed through these last few things. You're like, as if you weren't going fast enough already. On page 125, if you are wanting to get just the new core colors, those 11 new or returning colors to our core collection, you don't have to buy them all individually. You can get the assortment of cardstock, so 2 each of those 11 colors for $11. That's 8.5 by 11. You can get the 12 by 12 for $14, and same thing, 2 each of the 11 colors. The most helpful thing I think is you can get all the ink pads and you get them as a bundle. So just like you buy the color collections bundled and save 10%, if you have the color collections from before and you just need those new core color additions, you can get just the 11 new core color ink pads bundled together to save that 10%. So that's really good. And then you can also get the Stampin' Right markers. So again, if you have the full marker set or those individual collection sets and you just want to add in those new core colors, you can get just the new core color markers. That's what I did. But you also have some other bundles on this page. So page 125, don't forget there are more bundles than just stamp sets and tools. There are some ink pads and ink refills and some other coloring tools on that page too. All right, page 126 has basically the packaging, which I think is less than we've had in the past, less packaging than in past catalogs. But there are still some good things here like envelopes and little boxes and bags. Page 127 is specialty paper. I mentioned that earlier. It's not just designer series paper, but there's some specialty papers too. And those can be easy to miss throughout the catalog where they're kind of used in different samples. So you might want to check out page 127. Starting on page 128, we get our DSP. And again, this is where you're going to see all the different colors that are in the DSP, not just the few that are highlighted. But I wanted to point out on page 129, this is called the Delightfully Eclectic 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. And this is a special one because instead of, usually with 12 by 12 packs, you get, how many do you get? I have to think about this. I think you get 12. You get 12, well, it would show in these other ones, yeah. So normally if it's 12 by 12, you get 12 sheets. If it's 6 by 6, you get 48 sheets, which is the equivalent. Because 6 by 6, you get 4 of those in a 12 by 12. 48 divided by 4 is 12. Hopefully that math makes sense. But anyway, it's the same amount of paper. It's just full size or quarter size. But this one, Delightfully Eclectic 12 by 12 Designer Series paper, instead of 12 sheets, you get 48 sheets for each of 12 double-sided designs. So that's a lot of designs. And as it says, it's a very eclectic. You have everything from flowers to swans to pretzels. So, and lots of patterns and things like that too. A couple other designer series paper, because most of these are going to be featured in the suites, but this one on page 130, Glorious Gingham, is not a part of any suite, so don't miss that one. Pardon me. Page 133, you have just the color collection sets, which come in the in colors, and then all 4 of the core color collections. And the patterns this time are this big polka dot, big stripe, kind of an elongated dot, and then hearts. So we get 4 new patterns every year for those. You also have some specialty papers here too. This one was from that Bright and Beautiful suite, and then these are the Vellum Basics, which are returning specialty vellum that have stripes, dots, and like kind of fern leaves on them. I wasn't even going to mention this, but I see it and now I want to. Page 134 and 135 is memory keeping. So if you're a scrapbooker, you can check that out. Let's see, I have a question here. Name of the fold that my friend did using the Wonderful Thoughts set. Yeah, I don't know the name of this one, but again, I'd be happy to find out for you if you like. Actually, you know what? She did tell us what that was called, but I can't remember now. So again, I can find that out for you if you like. So this is where you can get albums and note cards and envelopes and things like that to do some memory keeping or to continue making cards and just even standard envelopes for your cards. Then we get into some more coloring tools and things like that on page 136, but on page 137 I wanted to point out I found something that I'm pretty sure is new, but it's not marked with that red N like everything else. So the Enamel Effects Basics. We already had the black, real red, and white. That's a carryover, but now we also have a metallic set, which is copper, gold, and silver. And that's these enamel bottles that can create little like almost embellishments and raised details. So I'm pretty sure that metallic set is new. If it's not, feel free to correct me, but that was new to me. If you like embellishments and bling, that starts on page 139. Excuse me, I'm starting to lose my voice. We only have a few minutes left, so I think I'll make it. And I only have a few tabs left, and then we're going to talk prizes. Oh, I forgot a sample. I'm so sorry. Real quickly, to go back to colors, my friend Anna, Matthias, she's like a close friend now, and I'm embarrassed that I don't know how to say her last name. I've never heard her say it, to my defense. So Anna, you need to tell me what I'm saying right and wrong. But she made this card to show off all of those new core colors. This is the Misty Moonlight Returning, which is what this balloon is, but then there's a balloon in every one of the new in colors. And it's sort of like celebrating them. So that was fun. Again, I don't think I'm missing an inside. Oh, well, she does have a beautiful die cut piece on the inside. Okay. But let's see, we were talking about embellishments. After embellishments on page 142, you get into the different ribbons and trim, which I'm starting to get more into ribbons and trim and embellishments. It really does add. All right, page 145, we have a new tool. It's actually, I guess, a complement to a returning tool, the Take Your Pick tool. Now you can get the Take Your Pick crafter tips, which give you a set of 3 different tips to put into the tool. So you get a hobby blade, which is basically a X-Acto knife. You get a pick tip, so another like pick tool with different size. Well, it's hard to see. This one reminds me of a dentist. It has kind of like a kink in it, and then the other one's just straight, and it looks like very fine and sharp. And then you have a rotary perforating tip. So you can perforate things, make little coupons and things like that. Now, I think that item is delayed, so I don't think you can order that today, but it should be available soon. It's on its way to the warehouse. All right, now we get into indexes. So page 146 is where you're going to find your punches. The first several are the bundled punches, which again, you're going to save 10% on. And then from there, the catalog's sticking. We're going to skip some things, and we're going to look at dies. Start on page 154. Again, the first several pages have the bundled dies that you're going to save 10% on, along with the stamp set. Same with those bundled punches. But then you get into just the dies on their own. I think there were just a couple of those I wanted to point out. Let's see. I thought these gorgeous garden dies were just beautiful, detailed die cut dies. And those don't go with a suite. So again, you might miss where those were used in the catalog. I think that's all I wanted to show you on that page. But on the next page, 165, I thought these were really different. The patchwork pieces. And it will show or tell you where to see them. It'll say, see these dies in use on page. And then you can go look and see where those are. But this allows you to do like a quilted, you know, and just different way of kind of breaking up a scene or something. So I thought that was neat. I also like these petal patterns dies to create these like lattice looking or quilt looking pieces. So just some different things that, again, like if you missed it as you went through, you might want to go back and take a look at. And then on page 167, we have a new set of word dies. Again, these don't go along with any sort of suite, but you can get You're Too Kind, Happy Birthday, Celebrate, and Feel Better Soon, all out of dies. And you can't send people stamped images, like if you're a demonstrator. You can't send kits that have stamped images. That's a copyright violation, but you can send die cut pieces. So that can be particularly good for us if we're doing classes and things like that, to be able to send people sentiments that are die cut out without breaking that rule. All right, page 168, 169 are the embossing folders. So you do need the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine for the dies we just looked at and these embossing folders, but they'll create that, you know, tactile texture to your cards. And one I wanted to point out is the Delightful Dolly Hybrid embossing folder, because I particularly like that they're doing those now, because they will emboss and die cut all at once. And, you know, a doily, sorry, D-O-I-L-Y, doily, I think is a good versatile, you know, image. It's not like some of the other ones, which I have and like the Sweet Citrus Hybrid embossing folder or the True Rings Hybrid embossing folder. I like those, but obviously, you know, especially this one, like that's very clearly fruit. That one's a tree. I mean, it could be a pattern, but the doily is just a lot more versatile. All right, get into the last few things. So on page 171, it talks about joining. If you too want to be a demonstrator, please don't be intimidated by that. You do not have to try to start a business. A lot of people are just what they call hobbyists, where they just get a discount and all the other benefits, which there are many that I've gone into before and I can go into again if you're interested, by getting the starter kit. And that's one benefit right there. You can get for $99, $125 worth of product of your choice, plus free shipping, plus a free paper pumpkin kit, plus business supplies if you want them. But again, you can just recycle them or share them with another demonstrator if you don't want them. And that's all you ever have to do. There's no obligation. It sounds too good to be true, but it's really not. So ask me if you have questions about that. It's a deal. I signed up right away, and I signed up 3 times in a row until I could make the business work, because it was just the best way for me to do what I love. And luckily it's, you know, grown from there and become even more of what I love since. But if you're not there yet and you maybe just want to consider hosting, where you get together a group of friends, family, neighbors, coworkers, whoever, and have a party and earn rewards, then it talks about that on page 172, or you don't even have to get people together. You could just spend the threshold amount yourself on what you're buying. Say, you know, you want to get a bunch of things for your birthday, or you know, save up your money and buy it all at once so that you can get more for your money by earning these rewards. Rewards are basically product credit to spend on whatever product you'd like, again, your choice. Plus you can get these discounted products that you can only get by being a host, or again, reaching that threshold. So a couple stamp sets here that you can get just by hosting. And this shows you the chart of, you know, as you spend, or again, you get together people who spend those certain thresholds, the percentage you earn goes up, and you can even earn an item 50% off. So some great deals. Talk to me if you have any questions about that. I'm happy to help. And then you just have a few more indexes in the back, but that is it, except on the very last page of the catalog, it doesn't even have a number. I guess it starts on page 176 and then it goes on. But I just wanted to point out that this is one of the demonstrations of Stampin' Up's Statement of the Heart that we read at the beginning, are the different ways that they make a difference. And there are many, and it just highlights a few here. And I think it just shows that, like, this is more than just a company that sells crafts. It really does have a heart and a soul, and the people who are doing the work, whether it's demonstrators or the people at the corporate office, really do have, I think, very good intention and act on that intention too. So I know I try to, I hope to. The back cover would look great done in a shadow box. I totally agree, Terry. Yes, that's the kind of thing I want to do. So let me talk prizes, because it's 9 o'clock. So let me talk that real quickly before you all get going here. So this is my offer. I have two offers, similar to what I've done in the past. So first of all, you don't have to spend any money to earn this prize. You just have to do what you've already done if you've gotten to this point, which is watch this video and then share it with someone else who watches. So for every person you invite who participates, which just means watching this and letting me know they did, because I guess if they don't comment and say, you know, hi, I'm Hannah, I watched, or something like that, I won't know. But for every person you invite who does that, you and they will be entered to win an embellishment. You will both win. So it won't be like you're in competition with one another. You as the inviter will win. They as the invitee will win. So again, just tell them to let me know in comments, whether it's here on Facebook or if they watch on YouTube, comment that they watched with their name and who invited them. So, you know, Hannah Bird, invited by Hannah Bird, watched. And then you will both be entered to win. And what you're being entered to win, it can be this or an item of equal or lesser value if you already have this, or you don't want this and you want something else. But it is one of the brand new embellishments, the 2023 to 2025 in color dots. So in the brand new on-trend colors we talked about, here they are. So you will each win that, the inviter and the invitee. So the more people you invite, the more chances you'll have to win. And the more people they invite, the more chances they'll have to win, and so on and so forth. So that's prize number one. No money spent, just a little bit of time. And hopefully an enjoyable time. And then the second prize, and that's, by the way, for the whole month of May. So you have until May 31st to watch and invite people to watch and just comment that you did. And you're both entered to win that embellishment, or again, an item of equal or lesser value. The second thing is just for this next week. So until next Tuesday, May 9th, if you make a purchase with me, for every $40 you order, you will win a free new in color ink pad. So those 5 new in colors, you could earn up to all 5. I guess you'd have to, let's see, what's 5 times 40? You have to spend $200 to do that. And this is not to be combined with any other offers. This is my unique offer. But for every $40 you spend, you'll get to choose one of those new in color ink pads, or again, an item of equal or lesser value. It's first come, first serve what colors you can choose. But usually you're able to get your choice of which of those 5 colors you want, unless you're, again, spending $200, then you're getting all 5, or again, items of equal or lesser value. So that is, again, just for this next week. So let me know if you're interested. I would need to place the order for you so that I can add in those items for free for you. So you would just reach out to me by next Tuesday, May 9th. Let me know what you'd like to order. We'll figure out a virtual payment method. I have all the things, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, all the things. Or if you live locally, we can do something, you know, not virtual potentially, if we know one another. But I'll then place the order for you and it'll deliver as soon as possible. And you don't have to wait till the 9th. The sooner you get an order in, obviously the sooner it'll ship. There's a lot of delays right now because everyone wants the new things. So the sooner you can get kind of in the queue for your shipping, the better. Hi, Misty. Oh, I'm so glad some of my other demonstrator friends have joined. Thank you all so much for joining. And Elisa, thank you. That's very sweet. Thank you. So yes, hopefully that makes sense. I will write up in the description of this post on Facebook and on YouTube when it gets there, and my blog and all the places it'll end up over the next day or so, what these prizes are. But again, please share it with those who you think would be interested. And if you want to place an order, just reach out to me, hannahcraftedgifts@gmail.com, and we'll figure it out for you so you can get what you want as soon as possible. But thank you all so much for being here with me, especially for just a few extra minutes tonight. I didn't know we'd fill the time, and we actually went a little over. So thank you for your patience. I hope you had a good time. Again, keep commenting. I'll reply whether you're watching this on replay or live. And thank you for those of you who are here with me live, so I didn't feel like I was just alone in a room enjoying this by myself. So good to be with you all, and I look forward to seeing you hopefully again soon. Until then, happy crafting.